to the ugly truth. Oh boy. I am Jamie. This is my sister Stephanie.
We're doing the hard S's today.
So I'm so happy Pride, everyone.
Oh yeah, it is.
I got to celebrate a little mini Pride at Tres Hermanas with my friends the other night.
Really? Oh
yes,
God.
the G's. We went. We had some cocktails and some Mexican food. It was great. This last weekend was our Pride Parade. Did you know there was a Pride Parade in Sacramento? I had no idea. Does it get bigger and bigger every year?
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have friends who are ride or dies and go to it every year.
Yeah, I had no idea. It must have grown in popularity because
I'm not a parade person.
No.
It's not the cause.
No,
it doesn't matter what the cause is.
Are you kidding? My children used to participate in the Powwow Day parades, and it was hell.
I'd rather skin myself.
I had to watch my children walk down Greenback Lane at 7 a.m.
If anybody knows anything about where we grew up,
in their swim team suits.
I can't.
And I'm like, when is this over?
I don't want to be outside. I don't want to be around all those people.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's definitely hot.
And it never ends. It's like, you know what?
I can't.
I know we sound like the worst mothers on the planet,
well,
but
we do it.
I did it and I faked it. They're like, go kids, go. I mean, and I made it. I made shark fins. I did all the things. I helped procure the float. I was very involved. It's the only way I could get through it, though, to be fair.
Well, yeah, to keep your mind occupied.
Yes, and then when it's done, I'm like, okay, let's go. They're like, wait. I'm like, no, wait, we're done. Get in the car.
Can we get popcorn?
No.
Dakota Ice Guy's here.
Do you know that I never took my children to the powwow days? I never went to powwow days.
The only time that
I think I went once as a child.
This
when
reminds
we were innocent.
Me of when Jeffrey was in elementary school every year, because he went to the same elementary school the whole time. They had this thing called the fuck was it called? Basically, they had professional choreographed dancers come. You hire them, and they teach each grade a dance, a different one.
Oh, how cute!
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Star something.
I remember.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's a thing. And then
is this like song and dance when Paula was a kid?
Yes.
Okay.
And so every year, I've seen Jeff do it. It's a different dance.
They perform on this.
Yep. And so the older you get, then your grade goes last, right? Because the little kids go first. So they start in kindergarten. Jamie, he was in fifth grade this last year.
You're like, help me.
So we had to start at kindergarten.
Oh, they're so
and
cute.
sit out on the soccer field in the sun amongst the bugs.
That's hilarious.
And all of the white trashy parents that go to these schools where we live.
I'm actually surprised. It's funny. We went to a recital for our niece, and they have the oldest kids go first, and the babies go last. Oh. And it's easy because it's easier to entertain them in the back.
Yes. And then I don't know. I really don't know the logic. I guess I kind of see the logic. The little ones, if they're sitting too long, by the time it's their turn, they're like, eh.
The only thing that sucks, honestly, is that if you go first, because they have to do the curtain call. So no one's leaving.
Right.
You can't be like, okay, thanks, got homework. No, you're staying.
No,
You're there for 3 hours no matter what. And you're like, God
and it's
damn
like torture.
I'm paying to do this?
I'm telling you.
I know.
It's awful. And then when it's your kid's turn, you're like fighting through the crowd to get up there with your camera.
Save the front seats for the parents. Current student on the stage.
God, it's so true.
It's a thankless job, those
and
teachers.
I never fit in. I'm always the one that's like, I hate all of you.
Are you kidding? I used to be made fun of by my children because I would roll in when they would get awards at awards assemblies. What is it? Is it your family?
No, it's work. And this person keeps calling me, and I'm like, have you not figured out I'm not in the office today?
Clearly.
It's the second time you've called me and I haven't answered.
I just put my phone upside down in silent because, oh God, what is all of these?
Oh, there is an emergency.
Uh-oh, do you have to do it?
No, not like it's basically, this is the second time we've had to evacuate our major building for work.
Shoot.
For raw sewage running down the center of the building in the middle of the office.
How disgusting.
Right?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yay. Speaking of fumes, Daryl had a birthday a couple weeks ago and he wanted to go to Reno for the weekend.
Which is so weird.
It is weird, but his father lives there for one.
True.
Two.
Do they actually live in Reno?
Yes.
Okay.
Two, there is his most favorite whiskey of all time, Frey Ranch, is in Findlay, Nevada, and it's an hour outside of Reno. Right. And his dad happens to know the owner of the whiskey.
That's so
and
amazing.
he's like, we can go, we can have a tour, it'll be great.
So fun.
And we're like, okay, cool. So we scheduled this weekend. Now, his brother loves the Peppermill Casino.
Okay.
The reason being is they really know how to make a good drink.
They do.
The restaurants give you so much food.
And the hotel?
Yes.
Oh.
The food is delicious.
See, now, if I ever was forced to go to Reno, I would stay there.
It's not the nicest hotel.
Well, maybe I wouldn't.
But they are knee deep in renovations. I mean, they're literally renovating everything. They renovated their whole main tower, which is where we stayed. I got him the luxury suite.
And that's the good thing about places like that is you can get the luxury suite for like really cheap.
Stephanie, it was like $180
And it's like,
a night.
wait, what?
It was so cheap. It was a 2-bedroom with
That's
a
huge.
full bar. With a
Awesome.
full living room, and then our bedroom separated. It had a sauna and a shower.
Fun.
But here's what was
No
cool.
sauna, but.
It was, well, the shower turned into a sauna.
Oh, okay.
It was
a
all
steam
marble.
shower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
steam shower. Sorry.
Those are-
It's not sauna, but
saunas
whatever.
are kind of like they're wood and
yeah,
they're.
no, this was all marble.
I don't like those.
So it was so beautiful, and I'm like, this is so nice. I can't believe, so we brought, and it had a wine fridge. So we brought, everybody brought booze.
Lovely.
Service is amazing. Everybody's so nice. Number one complaint, they don't have valet right now.
Oh.
So there's a big valet sign. I'm like, oh, this is valet. And they're like, no, we don't have valet. You can just pull in and park wherever. And we're like, what?
So in other words, Daryl's dropping you off and
I
going
said,
to
well,
park.
so we're like, well, do you have like a bellboy? And they're like, oh yeah, we have one.
Oh no.
So he came out and he took our bags, and
Did you go on like Friday night?
we went on Friday morning.
Oh,
we
Friday.
left like Friday. We got there Friday afternoon. So we go to the pool. We have a great time. Then we have dinner at.
Did anybody else get a nice room?
Not like that.
They got like the $80 rooms.
I don't know. Everybody was on floor 12 and we were on floor 16.
Yeah.
And this was on Friday morning. And I think that only goes up to like 18 because
Yeah.
the penthouse suites are up there.
Yeah, you should
And I
got
did-
one of those.
It was like $500. It was like a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't want
more
to-
than you were like. Not for Reno.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's Reno.
Yeah.
So even if you're-
what's funny is that statement came up many, many times. We're like, well, I mean, it is Reno. We said that so many times.
I mean, I would spend 180 or 200 on a room, but
for a suite, yes.
to spend 500 on a room in Reno,
You know what? I would if
I better have a helicopter attached.
if
that's
it was
taking me
if
home.
it was overnight. If it was one night, I probably would have done
Yeah.
the highest.
That's
nicest
true.
suite
Yeah,
I
I
could
didn't think about that.
But anyway,
But when you go to places like that and you get rooms like, because we did this, we went to Reno to look at a car. I got the only non-smoking hotel in the fucking city, which it's Reno. It's tiny.
oh my god, every room has. It was so funny seeing ashtrays with
Yeah.
matches, and it totally smells like
It
cigarettes.
does.
Not in the room didn't.
No, it doesn't. But
They had an air purifier plugged into the wall when we walked in.
yeah.
Because they just don't have that system is just not upgraded yet.
No.
I think they're upgrading it though.
Well, that would be lovely.
I think they will.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. So the dinners were fantastic. The service next level. So
you ate at the Peppermill?
We did. It was this Italian restaurant, and I can't think of the name of it, but it was so freaking good.
You love Italian food,
We were
too.
sitting under a statue's ass because it's all very over the top Italian.
Right.
Every once in a while, torches lit up around us like Greek gods.
Wow.
They set up a special table for us because there was like 10 of us.
Oh.
So they set up this special table right in front of
And
where
did
the
they know it
chefs
was
cook.
Dee's birthday?
They did.
Aw.
So we got all this amazing food. Everything was fantastic. We had all this wine. And they brought him tiramisu, and they brought him some kind of
Lovely.
fig thing, and it was delicious. It was great. We had a great time. But
Did Gary pay for all this?
no.
Oh.
Everybody's very. We split everything.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't even fuck around with that. We
Oh, thank God.
No, we don't do that.
Because
We're like,
I know
no.
people who do, and it's stressful.
So we did that, and then we partied up in the room for a while, and then Daryl went to go lay down because we'd been drinking all day.
No shit.
So Daryl went to go lay down, and we're all sitting in the front room, having a good time. And his dad goes, "Where's my son?" And I go, "I don't know." It's like 11:30.
Passed
It's like
out.
11:30. So I go into the room, and he's laying on the bed, like across the bed, fully dressed with his phone in his hand. I go, "Hey," and I rubbed
Awake?
well, I didn't know, so I rubbed his back. I go, "Hey, are you all right?" He's like, "I can't get I can't get the music to work." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, that's fine. No one cares."
Yeah.
And I go, "Are you done for the night?" He goes, "I'm really tired." And I said, "Okay." So I came out and I said, "Yeah, he's done."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then he comes up from behind me like a zombie, and he's like, "Everybody out." And they're like, what? He's like, it's time to go. And he kicked everybody. And I'm like, okay, well. And he's like, get out. And I was like, Daryl.
Holy shit.
He wasn't being mean, but he's like, you got to get out. Get out. And I'm like, okay, everyone out. So he doesn't even remember going to bed. He doesn't even remember saying that.
Oh, that's good. Because that would be embarrassing.
Right? So
no, just the fact that you told me, he's probably like, I did?
Yeah. I go, you told
that's really out of character.
I said, you told everybody to get out. He's like, well, I was really tired.
Well, right.
I'm like, do you remember? He's like, not really. And I'm like, did you remember saying goodnight to anyone? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, you had a lot of whiskey and a lot of wine, a lot of beer.
You didn't throw up.
Me too. The thing is I stayed as sober as I could because this was his weekend.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing.
The next day we go to Frey Ranch, the whiskey place. So he and his brother shows up the next day because they had an ill kid.
Right.
So they showed up the next day. So his dad, and his brother did a full whiskey tasting, like a wine tasting. First of all, I took a sip and I'm like, immediately, no, this is kerosene. I can't do it.
I cannot.
And they're like, just put some water in it. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Why am I going to gut something?
I'm not.
I can't do
you
it.
know what? And I love whiskey in a cocktail. I know you don't. You would have been like, oh, this is a really great farm.
Yeah.
And it was. It's a working
I can appreciate
farm.
that. Yeah, all of that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so after the tour and tasting, Daryl and Brad and Gary, they bought tons of whiskey that you can only get on the farm, which was amazing. And then we went over to the gazebo and we had champagne with the owners.
Nice.
And they are just the night. First of all, he looks like a young Kurt Russell.
Ooh.
I have a picture I'll show you.
Excellent.
So when we were finishing the tour, me and there were 4 ladies, we were all walking together, and one of them goes, could that guy be any more cute? And I go, okay, so it's not just me. We're all
no.
They're like, I mean, he's a farm boy, first of all. So he's got an amazing body.
And a really rich one.
And he's incredibly well. His wife is gorgeous.
Okay, so
they have 2 gorgeous children.
No harm in talking about it.
No, and she's gorgeous too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And he's not looking at these 4.
No. We are not catching his eye. God, no. God, no.
Which is why it's fine to talk about it.
But he was very, very sweet, and his wife was lovely, and he even ran into his own house and got his own wedding champagne flutes because we didn't have enough.
Nice.
He was so sweet.
Very
He's like, yeah,
sweet.
just put him by the front door because they literally live right
She was
there.
probably like,
no,
again.
she was closing up the bar. She didn't care. And so then she came over and had some. And then the way I explain it is, do you remember Bridges of Madison County?
Yes.
Their farm area. That's what it felt like, the surrounding area.
Beautiful.
Tons of locals were there.
Yeah.
Like they picnic on their property. Like it's so amazing. I'm like, I couldn't do this life because it was really hot and dry and everything.
Yeah.
And they're next door to a cow farm.
Oh no.
But amazing.
Right.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like stunning.
Well,
Loved it.
if you're them, you've embraced it at this point, and it's
it's
what you
the
know.
family farm. They've owned it since like the 1900s, early 1900s, like 1910.
Yeah, it's what you know.
So then we got home.
And it doesn't suck that you're filthy rich,
It doesn't hurt.
right? It's like, this is why we
They
do
sell,
it.
They sell like barley and hay to
Local.
Saudi Arabia and China and stuff. That's where they make, I think, a lot of their money.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
But anyway, so
Maybe
then
Fry Ranch was just like the fun
Fry
thing,
Ranch.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I want to do something fun.
It's exceptional. You can buy it anywhere in the country now. It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that sounds really fun.
Yes, and then Sunday
And Daryl
night.
enjoyed himself.
Yes, and then so Saturday night we
Birthday
went
boy.
to the Atlantis for a nice meal, and it was really, really good, delish. Yeah, and only saw one mentally ill man that made me want to cry.
Did you guys like Uber around?
We did get an Uber. We got one Uber because we mostly stayed at the Peppermill, or we drove ourselves to the ranch.
To the ranch, yeah.
But we got in the Uber to go to the Atlantis for dinner, and I mean the smell of onion was so prevalent. It was this old
in the Uber?
Yeah, it was this old white man, and he had one of those square Kias.
Okay.
And we get in, and it's really nice. It's plush and stuff inside, all leather and everything.
Was it an Uber Black?
No.
They
don't have Uber Black.
Oh, of course they don't.
And so we
Reno.
That's Reno. So then we get there and we get in the car, and of course Daryl is so oblivious. I think men in general just don't give a shit. And I'm sitting there going, I cannot with this onion sandwich man. Like, what is going on? He was like an older gentleman, boomer, listening to
He probably just went to Wiener Schnitzel and had
Pearl
4
Jam.
kraut dogs with extra onions.
I swore it was a full onion sandwich listening to Pearl Jam. And so then we get out of the car and I'm like,
BO can be smell like onion.
I don't know.
I used to have a guy.
He seemed clean, but anyway, so we get out of the car and I go, could you even with the onion sandwich
I would
smell?
have rolled down the
and
window.
Daryl's like, what? I'm like, ugh.
How did he not know?
I don't think they register the way I I don't know.
It's me.
You and I would have been like, what?
I'm a bloodhound. I would have been like, I would have had my shirt over my nose immediately. What?
I rolled down the window and I'm like, like holding one nostril with my hand, going, I don't want to fully breathe in whatever this is, because what if it is BO? I don't think it was, honestly. He did not look like that. He looked like my neighbor.
It probably was Onion. And what's the guy to do? He's like, look, it's a busy night.
He's chewing gum, and his wife probably said, don't forget your onion sandwich, honey. So, he's like, right.
Okay, but you know what? Ozium. Have you remember that old stuff you sprayed? It's like an odor killer in the car.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway, so we had a lovely dinner, came home, we had a couple cocktails, and that was the end of it. We were pretty hungover the next day.
I imagine.
Yeah, we had.
That's like a 2-day compound. You may not get a shit-faced drunk one day, but if you're drinking pretty heavily both days, by Sunday your body's like, red alert, go home.
So I got up and immediately got in the shower, and then I said, I need a minute. I can't check out at 11. And so, and his brother's like, hey, we're going to the seafood buffet. And I'm like,
oh God, just when I want some shrimp.
No thanks.
Right now.
So they're like, he's all, we're good. You go on ahead. So
I guess they weren't hungover.
Well, they'd only been there one day.
That's true.
So they didn't get the full effect.
Right.
So then we're getting
probably ready to stay. Like, let's stay another day.
They were so disappointed that they couldn't come because they're like, we missed the first night vibe, and we're like, I know. There's always that first night. Everybody's
and it
excited.
is great.
It's different.
It's like everybody gets there. We're all excited.
God. And yeah. Like, the night has just begun, and we were all totally.
Yeah, and honestly, how often do you have a weekend where everybody's there on Friday?
I know, it's so
like
fun.
That doesn't happen.
I know.
It's usually Saturday morning.
So we're getting ready to leave, and I said, hey, I want to see if I can get a peppermill omelet. Because they just don't make them here. We don't have a peppermill anymore.
True.
And so I looked and I couldn't see one. So we go into this restaurant, the one restaurant that looks kind of like the peppermill where they serve breakfast all day.
Right.
So we walk in, they sit us down, and I said, hey, I go, do you think you can make a peppermill omelet? And she's like, well, I'll ask the chefs. So she goes back there and he's talking to them all. And one's like shaking his head yes, and one's saying no. So she comes back. She goes, is it turkey, cheese, tomato, hollandaise? And I said, yeah, that's it. She goes, yeah, he can make it. And I'm like, oh my God, please.
Yeah.
So I got a peppermill omelet from the peppermill.
Oh my God, you should have taken a picture.
I should have.
But you were so happy to get it.
I couldn't believe it.
I'm not a food picture person either.
And they made it like extra large. It was so much turkey omelet.
Because that was how they made them.
I can't eat it.
Why would they not put that on the menu?
I don't know. But he was an old school chef. He's like, oh yeah. But the new ones didn't. And so I'm like, this is
we
wonderful.
don't know what that is.
Except I got melon instead of pineapple. I was annoyed, but that's fine. It's small. Well, that's Reno.
Right?
But anyway, Reno was great. We had a great time. And Daryl happily turned his 55. He's double nickels and didn't win any money.
Oh, did you guys gamble at all?
I don't gamble, but he played the roulette. He loves roulette, so he played roulette. But he kept winning enough that he got to play for a while.
That's good.
So I'm standing there going, hurry up and lose.
I would have gone to a blackjack table.
And he's like, and I walk up and she's like, cocktail. And I'm like, no, thank you. And then the other guy's like, do you want to sit down? This other guy gambling. I'm like, I don't know. My bad luck. Should I leave?
Like, am I not?
People get weird about people who don't play. Like, I noticed security, the red coats walking around, and I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, I'm the wife and I don't want to play. And should I just go back to the room?
Not only that, but there's nowhere to sit.
Right.
They don't want you sitting. No, they want you to play. And I'm like, I'll sit on the stairs over there if you'd like. I don't care. Because I know people are weird about it. And I get it. I'm not a gambler, but I understand superstition and security.
I get it. Yeah.
But I'm like,
I would have been like, I'll be at the bar. And come find me when you're done.
If I could find one. They're hard to find.
They usually...
They're in the corners.
Yeah. Well,
they want you to walk through everything.
These Indian casinos that we have all around town.
Yes.
They are not like the casinos up in, like Reno and Tahoe and stuff.
That's true.
So they have massive bars everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
And cigar lounges.
I was not accustomed to the cigarette smoke, I will admit.
Yeah, it stinks.
And it's old cigarette smoke,
Well, and even the new, it stinks. The whole thing.
We got home and I immediately threw everything in the laundry. I washed my hair, even though I couldn't smell it on me, I'm sure I smelled like cigarette. Sure. I'm sure I did.
Yeah, but absolutely. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a fun weekend.
It was a fun weekend. Okay, and then one last thing, and we'll go.
I had to look at the buttonable.
Oh my God. I'd be like, if it wasn't recording, I'd be like, well, you heard the story. Moving on. We went to Reno. The end.
Well, I think when we did the show last time you forgot to record, I don't think we recapped that.
No, we
We're like,
didn't.
fuck it.
I don't care.
We can't do it twice.
I don't care. It's done.
Yeah.
You've heard it a million times.
Sometimes I can't even listen to our show
I don't.
because I'm like, I lived it. Like, I don't need to listen.
All right. Here's the thing, and I'll tell you the next.
Except for if Daryl's like, the show was really funny, and then I'll be like,
I
let me listen and
know.
see why you said that.
So he said that, and we were on our way home. First of all, understand, I am hungover. I'm exhausted. We were up till 2 a.m. like every day.
Drinking.
So, yes.
And then up in the morning, I'm like, let's go.
Oh, no.
Bloody Marys. Mimosas.
I cannot. I could not. We drink so much champagne. So anyway, we're on our way home, and we're going through, whatever. And he's like, I really wish you would hear yourself because this is a really great episode. And he puts it on. I'm like,
I don't want to hear it.
I go, have you ever heard what Adam Driver does when someone tries to make him watch a scene that he's in? He gets up and he leaves.
Right.
If I could roll out of this car right now, I would. I don't want to hear myself. And he's like, why? It's so good.
It's
I'm
not
like, well,
that
then you listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to it again.
For me, it's not like it's not cringy. Like, I don't
It's cringy to me.
I don't find it cringy.
I don't know why.
I don't like looking at myself on video at all. Like, I will not do it.
I'm over it. If anybody says, oh, you guys need to do video, you're never going to be famous. Okay, well, I guess I'll never be famous.
I know. I
don't want to do it.
I don't either.
First of all, nobody watches podcast videos. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there's
They
TikTok.
don't.
There's TikTok clips of podcast videos,
Yeah,
but they're not the whole show.
Fine. In fact, Daryl even said, he goes, all right, fine. Then why don't you guys do a clip of you guys getting ready to record? And then that'll be the clip. And I'm like, I mean, I might be able to live with that. But then that requires like
Effort.
No, it requires those faux filters where it's like full glam filters so that you look normal.
Yeah.
Because neither one of us wear makeup or anything, and I'm like,
Not like that.
All right. Anyway, all right. Well, that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Jamie made sun tea.
Yeah,
That
so we're
was exciting.
sipping along. All right.
Really good.
Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.